Welcome to people who have joined online or here. We'll discuss how the life's real blessings. Earlier we had a introductory discourse, great blessings. There's an entire discourse delivered by Lord Buddha on the life's great blessings. Not one or two, but 38 types of blessings Lord Buddha has enunciated. 38 types of blessings of life, starting with not to associate with unwise people. The first blessing he talked about is don't associate with unwise people. So when we say blessings, when we think of blessings, we have some idea, okay, blessing means something good, something beneficial. It can come from other people or something like this. But then our real blessings aren't something that comes from other people. Our real blessings are something that comes from our right actions. So when, say for example, now you come, people come to the monastery, people come here, people request the monks to give them blessings. But when they are requesting the monks with the right set of mind, then whatever the monks say, that will be beneficial to them. But if they are not in the right set of mind, if they don't really pay attention, if they aren't really having enough faith, enough confidence, then even if the monks say, may your problem be solved, it may not be. Sometimes things are like this. So our blessings must come from within. So these 38 types of blessings that Lord Buddha has discussed, we'll go gradually about it. May not be possible to talk about all the 38. So initially we had discussed about 4 of them, and then today we'll discuss some more. These 38 types of blessings, they are all connected with our right actions. So the first one, he said, don't associate with unwise people. If you associate with unwise people, you will end up cultivating their bad habits or wrong actions. If you have to associate with anyone, then associate with wise people, good people, noble people. So select your friends carefully. Don't be just so-and-so is my friend. We need not do like this. We should be careful in selecting our friends and associations. So that was the second blessing, associating with the wise, and then paying respect to those who are worthy of respect. So you start with your parents. Our parents have done so much for us. The very fact that we exist here now is primarily because of our parents. They have done so much from our childhood, taking care of us, bringing us up, giving us whatever we need. So they have done so much favor. We cannot pay off their debt, but at least we can be respectful towards them and we can try to take care of them. So starting with our friends, parents. And then if you have good friends, if you have wise friends or wise teachers, those who are guiding you in the right direction, advising you the right things, telling you to refrain from the wrong actions, then they are your wise teachers, good teachers. So those kind of teachers are your friends, such friends, good friends, who are helping you, assisting you in the right direction. If you're making a mistake, so how do you recognize a good friend? If you make a mistake, or if you're going to make a mistake, going to commit something wrong, your true friend, good friend, noble friend, they would discourage you. They wouldn't encourage you. If you're going to get into addictions, or if you end up telling too many lies, or whatever it is, your true friend, noble friends wouldn't encourage, they would discourage. They would say, this isn't good. This is not something that you should do. This is not right. So that's how you can recognize. When you are going in the right direction, your good friends will encourage. When you're going in the wrong direction, your good friends will discourage. So he will not say you are good all the time. In fact, a good friend should not say like this. A good friend should say you are good when you are only going in the right direction. When you're going in the wrong direction, your good friend should say you're going in the wrong direction. That's the job of a good friend. So your parents, your spiritual teachers, your good friends, or people who have helped you, who have been kind to you, being respectful towards such people, being grateful, respectful. So that's the blessing. Then, again, Lord Buddha says what? To stay in a place inhabited by good people. To stay in a place inhabited by good people, people who are good, who are wise, who are noble, or who are virtuous. So if you stay in a locality where people are always fighting, sometimes people stay in, unfortunately, or whatever. Sometimes they end up staying in a locality where people are always fighting. Say, for example, now say the country is in the Middle East. The kind of situation they are, all the time some violence and such things. It's not really a suitable place. Not really a suitable place, because there is no peace, all the time fighting, killing, loss, suffering. So that's not really exactly the most suitable place. So try to associate or stay close to a good locality. That itself is a blessing for us, because when we stay with such in a good locality, we associate with good people. When we stay in a locality with all kinds of wrong people, we associate with wrong people. Our associations can make or break our lives. Our associations are so important. It can make or break our lives. If we have the right associations, it's very good for us. If we have the wrong associations, it's dangerous. It can destroy all our goodness. If your locality is good, it's very helpful. Or if your locality is not good, try to stay in a place which is better. Or at least avoid such people who are in that bad locality. And then, having done good actions, when we have done enough amount of good actions, then these results of these good actions, they are our support. So what we call in general terms, spiritual merit, or they call punya, spiritual merit, punya. So this is our great support. Why? For example, now this COVID came. During the COVID, so many people died. So many of them. Rich people and poor people, educated people, uneducated people, all kinds of people died, had COVID, had a lot of suffering. It's not the case that only the poor people had COVID. Even the rich people also had COVID. Rich people also died. Poor people also died. Educated people also died. Uneducated people also died. All kinds of people. And whereas they say elderly people are more prone to death or such things, they say in a COVID. But then there has been instances where some of the elderly people, after having COVID, recovered. Some of the young people, having contracted COVID, couldn't recover and die. And they did. They did pass away. So this is a point to consider. People don't really consider this. So and so died, people think only that much. But everything has causes and conditions behind things. Sometimes you have seen some people, from childhood, they have some sickness or the other, some suffering or the other, some difficulty or the other. Some people, even though they're born in, say, affluent families or educated families or in a good family, still they have a lot of difficulty or suffering or sickness or a lot of problems in life. Whereas another person may not have that much of affluence, but still manages to conduct their lives or manages to become successful, manages to do well in their lives. Sometimes so many people coming from good affluent background cannot become successful. Sometimes some ordinary people, they don't come from an affluent background, but they become successful with effort, with a dedication, effort, everything. So it's all because we all possess certain levels of spiritual merits, punya. We all, a little less, a little more, but we all have it. As human beings, the very fact that we are born as human beings, the very fact that we didn't born lower than human beings, but we were all born as human beings with mostly good, healthy body, healthy body and sound mind, which shows that we have some level of spiritual merit with us. It is a fact. If we did not have, then we would have suffered. Most probably we wouldn't have been born as human beings. We would have been born as animals or lower beings. And then having been born, we would have suffered from a very incurable disease, or like sometimes some children, unfortunate, but that's the case. 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years in cancer or such things, they die. Sometimes some children. Whereas some children, they also live in the same environment, but they don't. Or sometimes brothers, one is healthy, one is not. They're born from the same parents, living in the same family, having the same food, having the same environment, same upbringing. One is smart, one is not. One is intelligent, one is not. It's not that parents are discriminating or anything, nothing. But then people are like this. One is healthy, one is not. So this all comes from how much merit we have, how much punya we have done, how much good actions we have done in this life or in the past. This comes to our support. When we are sick, sometimes like this COVID, when people became sick in the second wave, I have seen in Bangalore, even in Hyderabad, or so many cities, even big people, rich people, influential people also couldn't get oxygen support. Couldn't get oxygen. It was so difficult to get a bed, to get oxygen. People with a lot of influence, a lot of money also couldn't. And some of them died. So the bottom line is, sometimes having money is not good enough to survive. Having wealth or influence is not good enough to survive. We need something better than this. This is what our good actions are. They are our real support. They are our real wealth. So the Lord Buddha is saying, try to cultivate as many good actions as possible, because when you have the difficulty, when you have the suffering, these good actions will come and support you. The results of these good actions, they will be your support. Some people are rich. Some people are rich. Some people are very rich. I have also seen some people very rich, but they suffer from a lot of disease. So the normal food which people eat or enjoy, even that much also they cannot eat. Normal food. They're very rich. but they cannot. See, having money is no guarantee that you will be able to enjoy the wealth, because that support isn't there. The spiritual merits, the punya, the results of good actions are not strong enough. So that's why having enough merit, having enough spiritual merit, punya, is a great blessing, because when we need support, when we are in times of difficulty, in times of distress, in times of problems, if we have enough merits, we can come out of the problems. If we don't, then it is very difficult. Sometimes people just die out of simple fever or a small sickness, actually. Sometimes people can recover from cancer without much medication. That also I have seen. Why? Because sometimes people have so much of merit, spiritual merit. They have done so many good actions that even the big sickness is not good, strong enough to harm them. Whereas some people, they haven't done enough merit. Small sickness is good enough to destroy their lives, or small troubles good enough to destroy their lives. So basically possessing merits, possessing results of good actions, having done enough good actions, it is our support. That itself is a blessing. Then Atta Samma Panidhicha, Lord Buddha is saying, guiding oneself in the right path. Guiding oneself in the right path. It's so important. We depend on other people to guide us. We depend on other people to guide or help or advise us. But here, Lord Buddha is saying, depend on yourself first. If other people were to tell you, this is good, this is correct, this is what you should follow, this is bad, this is wrong, what you should not follow, but if you aren't willing to accept or follow, nobody can help you. Really, nobody can help us. We have no chance. If we are really obstinate or rigid or irreverent, we don't pay attention, we don't care, we are adamant, then we have no chance to improve. So that's why the whole practice of good things starts with oneself. One has to make a determination. One has to make effort from oneself, one side. I have to be good. It's not that other people tell me to be good. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Better, I must do good. I must be good. I must be straight. I must put forth the effort to be straight. If you have the willingness, if you have the determination, if you have the desire to be good, and if you really put forth the effort, then you can be good. There is no problem about it. But if you do not have the determination, the willingness, desire, then no matter what other people tell or how many times other people tell, we will still not be good. Some people, they just listen 1 or 2 times, or they just hear something good, and then they suddenly try to change, make the effort to change, because they already have the willingness to change. Willingness to change, willingness to be straight, willingness to let go of the bad things. Whereas some other people, they have no such willingness. So for them to change is difficult. To be good is difficult. It's a huge struggle, big struggle. So that's why Lord Buddha is saying, having a mind to become straightforward, guiding oneself on the right path, Atta Samma Panidhicha, guiding oneself. So you must guide yourself. I must go in the right path. I must go in the right path. One should have that much of determination. That also is a blessing, because if you can guide yourself, if you can encourage yourself, if you can encourage yourself to be good, then you will be good. Surely, today or tomorrow you will be. But if you yourself don't encourage, you are not caring, you don't care, You don't want to be good, then no matter what other people tell you, will still not be good. There is no way you will get the blessing. This blessing means good things. Then further he says, Bahu Satchancha Sippancha. So the studies, for example, studies or professional skills. Studies and professional skills. It's also a very important thing. If we are having some professional skills, if we are good in our studies, we have a good chance of earning a good living. We have some skills, we are good in our studies or something. Whereas if we aren't, so the students, it's a very important part of the life of the students. When they are studying, they must be mindful. They must make the effort to study well, do well in their studies, or if they are pursuing some kind of technical course or professional course or whatever, they should try to do it sincerely, not be negligent about it. Because if we are negligent about it, we never learn enough. There was a survey, unfortunately. India has so many engineers, but there was a survey by a big organization. And then it turned out a large number of those engineers were not employable. Their skill set is not good enough. Maybe a couple of years back or something. What a pity. People go, they study engineering, but they aren't skilled enough. Is it? If you don't want to, parents also should understand. If your children don't want to study engineering, they don't want to be an engineer, let them be. It's not a big deal. So that kind of engineering isn't really good. You have to have skills. When you are doing something, whether it's your study, your work, you must try to develop as many skills as possible. It's essential. Only when you have enough skills, you will be successful. If you are not having enough skills in your studies, in your professional life, nowhere you have chance to be successful. Unskillful people or less skilled people, they can't make it big. They can't be successful. They can't be. So having skills or studies or educational, having enough done, acquired enough education or professional skills and such things, that itself is a blessing, because through these skills and these things we can improve quality of our life. And then being disciplined. Being disciplined is a wonderful thing. People say, what is there to be disciplined? If you are following a disciplined regime, then you have a high chance of being successful. Whereas if you just live indisciplined, for example, you are a brilliant student, you're a very wonderful student, but then someday most of the days you are negligent about your studies or your work or things. At the end of the year, you haven't studied enough. You are a brilliant student, you just need to study once or twice. But if you don't study at all because of indiscipline, how are you going to be successful? So discipline is a very big blessing. If you have discipline, even the mediocre people can become good. Whereas with indiscipline, even the extraordinary people become mediocre or less than mediocre. So being disciplined is such a great blessing. Subha, and then he says, Subhasita Chaya Vacha. Learn how to speak well. Speak truthfully, speak correctly, speak well. That itself is a great blessing. It's a very important skill. It's a very important skill. When you are studying, you're going to schools or colleges or universities, you have to talk to people. You have to talk to your teachers. You have to talk to your classmates. You have to talk to your seniors and juniors and so many people. If you know how to speak correctly, properly, with a friendly attitude, then you'll be able to manage things in an easy way. But if your speech is not good, or if it is harsh, or it is abusive, or it is not truthful, or rough, not gentle, then many times I have seen people who have skills, and then they go and join some big companies, but because their mouth is, they have a very big mouth, they say anything and everything, and then they get kicked out of the jobs. I have known some people, very educated, or like engineers and MBAs and such things, but they get kicked out of the job because they can't control their speech. They are not gentle. They speak anything and everything, and after some time, the organization is sick and tired of them. They get kicked out. So being gentle, truthful, kind in our speech, that itself is a great blessing, because you will make a lot of friends. A lot of people will try to help and support you. Being good in speech, how to speak. So that itself. So all these things, you just recollect. Stay in a good locality, doing enough good actions as our support for our life, encouraging yourself to be good, to be straightforward, paying attention to your studies or professional skills, being disciplined, being good, gentle in speech. So these things, Lord Buddha says, they are life's great blessings. They are life's great blessings. Then you will say, oh, these are common sense things. We hear it every day, here and there, here and there. Yes, you hear it every day, here and there. But how many people truly cultivate these things? That's important. No? It's not about how many times you hear it here and there. How many times you cultivate, that's what changes your life. That's what matters the most. So these things, why are they great blessings? Because if you can really cultivate them, then your life will go in the right direction. You are successful in your day-to-day life, you are successful in your profession, in your studies, in your job, in your day-to-day life, managing people, whether it is in your family, whether it is in your job, then that's a great blessing. No? Then that's what the great blessing is all about. Wherever you go, you are able to manage things properly, smoothly, without much difficulty. That's the blessing. What is the blessing? When you are able to do your things without difficulty, then that's the blessing. When you have a lot of difficulties and struggles, you don't know what to do, to go to the right or to the left. If this is right or this is wrong, you have no idea, and you stumble and fumble all the time, then that's not a blessing. So blessing is what? Blessing is when we have the skills, we have the right mind, we have the wisdom, we have the noble qualities to conduct our life in the straightforward, righteous, proper manner. That's what the blessing is all about. That kind of support, basically. So here we will conclude for today. We have already discussed some of the blessings. So you can remember these just once more for today. I'll recapitulate. Avoiding unwise friends, cultivating good friendship, respecting the good and noble people, staying in a good locality, and then cultivating oneself in the right path, doing wholesome actions, then being skilled in our studies and in our profession, and being gentle in our speech, being disciplined in our life. So these are the great blessings. These are the great blessings of life. So this is where we will conclude today. So we'll continue with this. We'll continue with further with this. There are more Lord Buddha discussed about, like, for example, taking care of the parents and family members, and being helpful to one's and pursuing a career which is good, and being kind to friends and relatives, being good in avoiding wrong actions, like this, step by step. There are so many of them. So we'll discuss every Sunday, little by little, we'll discuss these right great blessings. So because this is something very fundamental, the blessings, what we should do, what we should cultivate, what we should develop, what we should avoid. This is where the blessings start. We'll continue the series of great blessings. We'll conclude here. Sukhi bhaveyang me dukkho ahang ichang ahang veha hitacha me sukhi hanto majjata tachaverino imani dhamma kettam hi satta hantu sukhi sada tato parancha rajyesu chakavale sujantano. May all living beings be happy.